Eli, we're done. Can you make sure you do the punk rock one?
Let's go!
Like, Jessica, you feel comfortable enough to be like, Cindy, okay, you're going on a fucking rant. Like, do it like that. I don't care. Like, because we get stuck in that rhythm. And I'm like,
yeah, no, that's not going to work with me.
I need a smoke. You need to calm down because there's 3 of you right now. Look, I can't even talk.
Why don't you
You're not even saying anything, Jessica.
I can't, Robert. This is my point.
Jessica,
this is what she tells her therapist.
You're going to say something. No, you're just having thought. That's it.
It's fun to laugh.
All right, so I'm going to start it.
Segue. Ooh. I set you up, Cindy, and you froze.
I froze?
No, you just stopped talking. You're staring
I froze on my 5G? That's impossible.
Primas and Primos, welcome to the podcast. Oh, my bad.
See what I mean? You're taking over.
That's very disrespectful.
Ooh.
We're talking after this.
Hi. Wait. Hi.
Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Primas podcast. In case it sounds a little hectic today, it's because we have 2 Barajas, 5 brothers in the house, and they're a little much, to say the least. I'm probably the best one out of all of us. I just get it. So welcome.
Welcome, guys. Thank you for taking your time. We haven't had Robert and Martin at the same time, huh? This is a new duo.
Me and Robert actually had some personal issues that we're going to clear out on the air. That's what this episode's actually about. Me and Robert,
I love it.
We have a lot of we're just butting heads right now. So that's what this episode's about. I hope you guys are ready to get emotional.
Jessica, can you ask Martin what's it been, about 15 years since the last time we talked?
Wow, you guys are so awkward. You're embarrassing the Primas.
I have an intro song for myself, so.
All right, let's hear it.
Can you guys hear that?
No.
This is what we mean about your mic.
Well, it makes it hard to hear the music when you're dancing with your phone in your hand, Martin.
Yeah. No, we can't hear nothing. I thought you were going to like sing it.
Going, no, I don't know where the speakers are on this laptop.
Oh, that's great.
Well, that was a good song. I'm not going to tell you what it was.
All right. Okay, so this episode is going to be about humor and how humor is medicinal for the mind, body, and soul. And sorry, do you guys hear the coughing in the back?
Nope.
Robert looks so annoyed answering that.
I didn't see your face. Okay. Nope. So why do you believe that humor is medicinal? Go,
Robert. I want to hear it.
Go, Jess. Tell us, oh wise one.
I love humor because I feel like it does the opposite of tension. Your body's relaxed. You don't have your walls up. So I think that's healing and relaxing. And that's why I think it's good for us to laugh.
Literally, Jessica, all you said was, I love humor because it's funny. So,
Robert, speak closer to your mic.
So, Martin, what do you think?
Why do I think it's medicinal? You know what? I kind of agree with Jess. I just think it's really funny. I think humor is good. And
makeup and stickers and ponies and myspace.com.
No, I'm joking.
Humor is good.
Humor is it's good for you, and
it's not bad.
It's a great way to stay in shape. But I mean, it's definitely medicinal. It's something it's what even the most racist person can look at humor and be like, that's where they're at their most vulnerable. Like, it's everybody laughs, everybody enjoys it. Even if you're the saddest person, the angriest person, whatever, when you feel somebody making you laugh or just a moment of something that you find humor in, there's nobody can deny the feeling of just the joy you get from just laughing. Like, I think we have some of the funniest Barajas on this podcast right now. So I can already tell this might go well, depending on, Cindy, your one-liners aren't too great, and Robert doesn't have somebody here to impress right now. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to take care of you guys.
Wow.
Well, I disagree. Okay. Obviously, Robert, are you gonna say why it's medicinal? Because I'm next. Mine is like really important, and like I really need to get it out.
I'm trying to dumb it down. Where do I
Wow,
start?
this is
Kidding. So I just, you know what, like especially right now with what we're going through, being at home all the time, it can get kind of depressing. So I think humor is a really good way to kind of not take ourselves too seriously, to kind of look at the lighter side of our situation and what we're going through, and I mean, it's definitely, it is medicinal. I mean, it allows us to release endorphins in our brain that allow us to relax, and everything that Jessica and Martin were saying about it just really allows us to just kind of let go of whatever tension we have, you know, and it's distracting in a good way, right? Because it allows us to to laugh at our situation and not really blow it up into like something bigger than.
so. I feel that humor is medicinal because, as you were saying, it releases feel good chemicals in our body. And so, if you're feeling depressed and you're getting oxytocin and dopamine hits by laughing, by looking at something that makes you laugh or whatever, it makes you feel better. So it's medicinal. It's important. You're a happier person, and as you guys said, it feels really really good to laugh. And I laugh
definitely
a
didn't
lot.
answer that question.
What, Martin?
I definitely didn't answer the question the way you asked it.
How did you answer it?
I was just listing things. I was like funny, happy, and it was all the same thing that I was listing, just in different words. Joy,
Yeah.
good.
But you were laughing throughout, so that's, you know, you're
Oh,
like,
Robert, you're done. Cindy, move on.
What?
You cut Robert off like that earlier. I just wanted to show that.
I didn't cut him off.
that's why you were
Right
laughing.
before we started
Robert
recording,
didn't
I
get to go,
said,
but we go
right
slow.
before we started recording, I gave specific instructions. Everyone agreed. Robert got pissed and he's like, do you want me to just leave? And I said, no, just
Did that in a moment of feeling like I could express myself, not to be on the
vulnerable.
podcast recorded. So
Okay.
He was judgy.
So my next question is, who was the first either person, show, or experience that you remember? What's your first experience remembering? Like, OMG, that was the funniest ish ever. It turned my life around. That's when I learned about humor. Do you guys want me to start?
Yeah, give us an example.
yeah,
Okay,
go
great.
ahead.
Well, I just, I ask questions and then I answer them, but I'm trying to work on myself and to speak better. Okay. So the first person that I remember was Jim Carrey in I was
Okay.
when Ace Ventura came out, and then in Living Color, my dad was really a huge fan of In Living Color, and Jim Carrey just blew my mind, and I would start impersonating him and his facial expressions, and just like, I mean, he was just everything for me. So, yay, Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey's a good one. I think Cable Guy didn't get so much, wasn't that popular, huh? But it's such a classic to us.
Yeah, because it has like a
Cable Guy
dark
was
side.
great.
Yeah, when he had that lisp. And Steven.
Well, that movie was actually, I guess, because it was more dark humor than it was like in your face, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find the humor in that, because when you really look at it, I guess when I found out the story, I was like, that's actually a
Creepy,
pretty
huh?
sad movie. Yeah. Jim Carrey just happens to be that charismatic that you fall in love with the creepy guy in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
definitely get where you're
that's
coming
true.
from. Cindy. That's
And I think we all kind of have like a dark sense of humor, if you ask me, right? Like we can't all just, when someone's new in the room, I had to give them like a fair warning. Like you're gonna cry a little bit, but when you get past the crying, we're actually really funny.
Yeah, I always worry too when new people come around, and I get quiet around new people. I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not gonna make you laugh. I'm gonna make you work for it. That's weird, right? That's super like something's wrong with me. Okay, so what about you guys?
For me, it was probably I was probably 10, and it was Eddie Murphy. A lot of you guys don't know this, but Eddie Murphy was actually like the first, like Martin Lawrence, the first.
Oh, is he Kevin Hart's dad?
You're a moron. Why do you insist on bringing him on? You know he's only gonna lower the ratings.
That's funny.
Can you mute him? So Eddie Murphy had this stand-up comedy called Raw and Delirious, and it was like, I'm not supposed to be listening to this. And my dad would watch it with us, and my tia Letty would watch it with us, and we would just sit there and listen to this guy. And he was like, he would come out in his performances in all leather, like his suits were all leather, so he was sweating buckets. But he would like,
You
I
had
mean,
to do it.
his stuff would be canceled. Cancer culture would have eaten him up like immediately. Like this guy's stuff was like making fun of Africans, making fun of like people's disabilities. Like he was just, there was no limits. Like I mean, making fun of African Americans, everything. And it was just, he was just, that was the guy for me, Eddie Murphy.
I never
You
think
know
he's that
how you-
funny. I only
But
know
then
him like
again, Jessica, you really
Shrek.
don't have a sense of humor.
I know. I only really like him in Shrek,
You know.
but
No,
I
but
never
just
saw
that
any of
he's-
his stand-up.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
He's from the 80s, that's why.
Okay,
Yeah.
that explains it. Robert's like 20 years
Okay.
older than me, so
That's
let's
what-
give
Yeah,
a
just as
chronicle
crazy as that.
timeline. And yeah, I wasn't even born. You're right, Robert. You're absolutely right, bro.
Why was I even invited to this?
Jess's era is the 80s. I'm surprised that you're not into Eddie Murphy. That's crazy.
Because that's like particular, it's stand-up comedy. Like I've never seen his stand-ups because I've tried to sometimes, and it's just like I feel like, yeah, I don't get it, but he's the GOAT. Like a lot of people in comedy are like, oh, Eddie Murphy, so I'm sure. But Robert, you said how my dad and my tia Letty used to watch it with you. My tia Letty, the first time I watched a comedy special on VHS, it was the Kings of Comedy. What were they called? What was it
that
called?
funny. Yeah, the Kings of
And it
Comedy
was
with Steve Harvey, D.L.
Steve
Hewley,
Harvey,
and
yeah.
Cedric the Entertainer.
Cedric the Entertainer and
Bernie Mac,
The
baby.
fourth one,
D.L. Hewley.
Bernie Mac, dog.
Bernie
Oh,
Mac.
Bernie Mac. You're right.
Bernie Mac. Because Bernie Mac
Yeah.
just passed away, no?
Not,
He
nah, it was
just
about
passed away.
15 years ago, but it's cool.
Okay.
To you, it's recent.
Jess was born. Jess was just born like 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's
My
true. She's
bad.
very young. Your youth oozes. You
That's
keep
okay,
us
guys.
young.
Jess is as old as your
Bernie Mac
daughter.
last week?
See what I mean? You guys are all talking at the exact same time. This is what I mean. You guys are a lot.
Oh my God, cancel us. I never found anybody that I could particularly say that got me into comedy, like a stand-up, the way you guys just picked. But I will say, like certain shows and stuff, like the ones that you got us into, Cindy, or the ones like Eloy, when we were growing up in Colorado together. I just remember particular shows that really got me into like more into the looking forward to look at the next comedy show or whatever it was. And it was not that these are my favorite shows, some of them are, but it was King of Queens, that 70s show, and Mad TV. And those shows,
Oh, Mad TV.
I remember as a kid,
know.
even though I didn't understand it a lot, I just always knew there was something funny about it. And my brothers are laughing, like my brother and sister were laughing. So I'm like, this is funny, like their action and stuff like that. And then later on, I like to reminisce and go back to it. So then I would look back at, like, thank God for YouTube, I could go back to clips and stuff and just look at things that were funny. Remember, Cindy, we used to record, or I don't know if you were there, but I know Eloy was there. We used to record Mad TV episodes on VHS when VHS was still a thing. And I remember Robert would come down to visit and always want to he was like, hey, rewind those Mad TV tapes. I want to watch them all. Like Mad TV was good.
VHS.
Yeah, those I just remember those shows were like kind of, and I guess Family Guy a little bit for me too. Those were the shows that even as a kid, even though I didn't understand it, I was just kind of like, these are shows that are going to stick around, and they still do. I still watch all those shows consistently, except for Mad TV, obviously.
Did you guys ever hear of Maria en Peru? It's like a sketch comedy.
No, I don't think so.
Maria en Peru, Martin?
That's
You
I don't
look-
remember. It sounds familiar, but I don't remember. Like it sounds more like a novela to me.
You have this
Martin
look that
And Eloy? Maria en Peru? You
I-
don't remember?
I feel like if I see it, then I'll remember, but I haven't in so many years.
It was us. Remember, we used to do sketch
right
comedy?
now.
Nobody's ever heard of it.
Those are
Cindy.
the most
Move
specific
on.
that you
I
remember.
know, Cindy, you've asked it like 5 times. I was just gonna say that, Robert.
Look
Like,
up Peru in Maria. Come on, you gotta heard that one. It was like in the Amazons.
For real.
Okay,
Tell us
well,
about it, Cindy.
me and Eloy and Martin used to do sketch comedy shows and like record ourselves when we were younger. And one of those shows was Maria in Peru, and we were doing like a spin-off or whatever to Jose Luis Sin Censura and Laura in America.
And
Wait,
that's what we call
so
it?
wait, Cindy, this was your recordings? This was an
Yes.
active show. Oh my God, you're asking Martin and Jessica and me
Well,
if we
because Martin was a part of it. I thought he would remember. Eloy, do you remember? You're not on here, so I don't know. Maybe he will, maybe he won't.
You like call us back. Call us on our line. This is live. Call us real quick just to check in. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, the lines are open.
Lines are open, guys.
Okay, well, whatever. That didn't go as I planned. I
I
thought we
know,
were gonna
Cindy, you're
reminisce.
so
Yeah,
wrong.
man, you
I know.
practiced
I
it.
do. You know what's crazy is I do remember one skit now. I just don't remember the name of it, but I remember we did one with Alma's kid, and where she was like the bad. Was it the skit where we made where she was like a bad baby that was going all hectic because she had a little
You're
attitude
just
on
forcing it now. Just stop. You
her? I
don't
Yeah,
remember
it's
remember.
one of
okay.
skits.
The
All right,
moment passed. We,
all right.
Dude, and
Martin's
my
like,
sister
no, I
practiced
I
remember
that
wasn't
Cindy
trying to
laugh
make
with
it like
that
funny moment.
thinking.
I was trying to reminisce and see if this was a part of it, but Jess wanted
No,
to infiltrate.
it was
Jess,
you were being
Jess started
you
feeling
were
really anxious when she wasn't being involved in this memory with Cindy.
you were being you were like a bad kid, and I was both the host and your mother. So the camera, we would turn it off and turn it back
Oh
on
my
and turn
God,
it
yeah,
off
I
and
do
turn it back on.
remember that.
And then Eloy, because we had Robert's army, like not like the jacket, the camouflage
I do
jacket. So
remember
My
Eloy
that.
was the
rifle.
sergeant that was coming to get Martin to take him to boot camp.
That's funny. I do remember this now. That's so funny. I completely forgot about that.
Clearly you did. Yeah, you
This was-
suppressed
this
it for
was
some
around the room
reason.
Upstairs or down? What room were you at this time, Cindy?
Upstairs.
All right. Move on to the next one. That was
Okay,
good.
well, maybe Eloy, if you want to just remove that whole 10
That was
minute
pretty
part.
funny.
Figure it out.
That was pretty funny.
Really? I thought we
Maria
were
y el
all
Perico, right?
yelling.
That's what the show was
I
called?
thought we were all yelling at the same time.
The show was called Maria y el Perico?
Just stop.
You want to be a part of our past so bad, bro. You chose to stay in the military.
Hey,
Oh,
you enjoy your
man.
freedom, right?
What?
You enjoy your freedom?
I do know though, when I do love to
welcome.
laugh, when we were younger, I would, Cindy, like let's reminisce when we were younger.
Oh my God, Jess needed to
How
involve
much
herself so
I would
bad.
always laugh. Like I never really had someone growing up. So when you would come around, you know, like our Mark, man, those were the best times. Like as ruckus as we were, you know, like I just have these crazy ass memories where things would happen to us that shouldn't have been funny, but they were. Like Marky was just a huge part of that. Like I'll never forget one time Melissa was swinging on the, you know, grandma's clothes hanger, and he just straight kicked the crate under off Melissa. And I remember laughing. It wasn't funny, but I'm like,
Yeah, I think
this
Melissa like broke her arm. I don't think that
Yeah,
was
I
supposed to
think
be
it- yeah.
funny.
she did.
And Jessica was laughing. Oh my God, the funniest thing. And then Marky,
Jessica,
I didn't do anything.
yeah,
was just
Jessica's
like,
into dark humor.
Mark would just try to do stuff like that to make us laugh. And it didn't matter who was like on the other end, just to make us laugh. And I just remember all of us, because we were all so close in age, you know, like I didn't have, my sisters were there, but you know, it was different when we were all together. When we would play in the front, Martin, you were like, what, 2 when you moved to Colorado?
I was 4, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
When we would play Mortal Kombat and, you know, you and Marky were just always making us laugh. I just thought it was so funny.
That is one part of the, I guess we're looking at the humor side of like how we grew up. I don't regret going to Colorado, obviously, because I still have friends.
you don't have a choice.
I did. My mom asked me if I wanted to stay with Abraham or Robert or go to Colorado. And I was like, you know what?
is that going to work, Martin?
And
Or
you
is
know,
that gonna just
and
hide
you
you
know
in a
what I said?
backpack or
Hold on,
something?
Robert. And you know what I said? I said, let me do a solid for my mom because her other kids are terrible.
Yeah.
My older brothers don't need me. My mom needs me. I made
No.
that decision. That
My
was
mom
my
said,
choice.
you want to stay?
So
Or you
one of
go.
my regrets for not going for not staying was, I guess it was that the being able to grow up with like that cousin and brother, my older brother is part of the humor. Like I do know, like I wish I would have been able to grow up with Mark a little bit more because I'm sure there was funny moments. Like I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Like Cindy she got the goods of California. We ruined her life by taking her to Colorado. And then she came back and enjoyed her life in California again, and then now she loves her life in Colorado. So she got literally the good and bad of everything at all
Yeah.
times. So
We did her a favor, dude. She would have became a mean chola out here.
she was already pressed into a
She
game.
was already spiraling
Look at
down
the
out of
eyebrows,
control
they're just
in
coming back.
Nightingale. They would have had to ship her to the Inland Empire for schooling.
She would have joined the military. Look, her eyebrows are just coming back. She used to have those McDonald's arches.
Whatever.
Cindy, Elo will vouch for this. Her gang name was Giggles. That's what she used to tag up, and she taught me and Nilo how to jump people.
Oh my God.
Oh,
You put a jump rope and you just jump. Whoever lasts the longest
No,
wins.
she was making us throw bows. She was like,
I was trying to prepare you guys for. I didn't know we were moving to Colorado.
Hey, the elbow didn't work, Cindy. This guy came at me with a knife.
Cindy's methods don't work. I needed to bring weapons.
Yeah. Anyways, enough about my gangster days in LA.
Las Snuggles, what's up?
These are all, see, this is all a part of humor. This is therapeutic.
Yeah, it is.
This whole podcast is therapeutic. Hopefully people can get the laughs that we're getting, even though they can't see what we've been through physically, like in their memories.
And there's also a lot of benefits to being open to humor, like to understanding humor, to practice it. There's a lot of so okay, if you are funny, if you're considered a funny person, I was listening to this thing that said you have higher levels of confidence. If you're able to make fun of yourself, you have higher levels of confidence. So what do you guys think about that? Do you agree? Because I agree. I feel like I make fun of myself all the time and I have very high levels of confidence.
I don't know if it's necessarily like I agree. Like if you use it that way, it just depends on how someone channels it. I think I think self-deprecation, like when you're and you have the ability to make fun of yourself, it comes from an ability of like sometimes it's a defense mechanism. Well, if I say the joke first, then
Mm.
it kind of eases if people making
Yeah.
fun of it. It's definitely a balance. It's definitely confidence. You're right. It's the confidence to be able to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, and you build upon that. So it's definitely, I think that's what makes it a little bit that where that confidence comes from, because you test your material kind of like a comedian at a, when they bomb or when they succeed, they grow from that. So my material is getting better, but I can also remember the times when I would get crickets and nobody would laugh at me. So I could totally see that confidence. You build upon that confidence, you learn, what works, what doesn't work. I think I did my 5 seconds, so I'm gonna stop.
Good, you're
I'm
conditioned.
literally,
It
literally
only took a year to
I'm
condition
talking
you,
and I'm going like
Robert.
this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, shut up.
We have a red light for you, bro. That's when you know. Wrap it up. Red
Next
light
time
in
we're
the
gonna
background.
buy you the choker for a dog and just buzz you so you like stop talking.
Mid sentence.
Toys.
Mid-sentence.
China.
But to piggyback off of what Robert was saying, yeah, definitely. And to your point, Cindy, or to get to the point, also, I do believe, within personal experience, I do believe that my humor definitely gave me confidence, especially when I came out to California after I moved from Colorado after graduation. When I moved back to LA, that first year was terrible because I was obviously alone. Me and Eloy were doing this moving in thing together, and that didn't necessarily, it had its ups and downs and stuff like that. So I didn't really have a lot of friends and stuff like that, but I knew that if I'd have left, like talking with Robert and stuff like that, like if I'd have left, I don't think I would have been satisfied. So I'm glad I stayed. But what got me to be comfortable with staying and making friends was, I was like, I got to figure this out. Like all of my friends are in Colorado and I still talk to them. But I needed to figure out how I was going to maneuver in LA, and that humor was something I was able to rely on. And it did give me that confidence, even if it was just making friends or even trying to impress, somebody like a girl that was in my class or work, whatever. I knew for a fact that humor was my go-to. I wasn't super confident all the time. I wasn't the most I didn't see myself. I have a lot of insecurities and I still do, but I've gotten better. But I know that one of my biggest insecurities, which a lot of people suffer from, unfortunately, is we have that lack of, we think we're ugly, for whatever reason. We just, we don't look like the next person. But so I was dealing with that a lot. So I knew, I was like, well, I'm not gonna let that stop me from meeting people. So I knew that humor was something to build off of, and everything else came later. But yeah, the humor thing on a personal note has definitely gotten me, even with just business wise. Like I think I've been able to get some of the jobs that I didn't think I would be able to get because of my confidence. Because I, as professional as I can be, I can also throw in humor. I don't think people are afraid to laugh. If anything, I think they'll, you know, they'll come to realize like I may have needed that, and to help me with my day or something like that. So yeah, it's definitely a confidence booster for me personally.
This is BS. Martin went 30 seconds.
I'm so sorry, Cindy. I knew she was staring at me.
No, but I agree. I think it is definitely a confidence booster for us to be comfortable enough to open with that. I always say in every new environment, I always try to lead with humor just to break the ice, just so we don't have those awkward moments of like, oh, well, I'm just trying to get to know you, I always try to lead with humor. And so far, it's been very successful because I just see other ways we can go about certain contexts, like our work environment, school, whatever the place may be. And I see people do other ways, like, I don't know, just talk negatively. And I try not to. I always try to start positively and by laughing a little bit. And so I think it is a confidence thing. And it has helped me along the way in most of my jobs, I would say, where I just try to be like not so serious and, let's just make the best out of this situation that we're in.
Yeah. Psychologically speaking, Jess, how you were saying about it helps you with people. Humor, if you crack a joke or if you're being funny or silly with someone, especially if it's a stranger, like a job interview type situation, if you're being funny, the person on the receiving end will kind of subconsciously start building a trust. Like they'll start trusting you. You're more pleasant to be around. And so pay attention next time you guys are like being funny or not. And it's an energy shift. If someone is being negative and you kind of like laugh at something, or you're just, you're in your own world laughing or whatever, or being silly, it's also very contagious. So I think it's a very powerful energy, just like being sad is, being in a good mood. When you're being funny, you're sort of in a good mood, but also you're making the other person feel more comfortable. So maybe that's why you guys have had success also with your job interviews and stuff like that, by being funny. So yeah, be funny.
Definitely. I even apply it in today's job where I'm always constantly meeting strangers. And yeah, it's a lot tougher to try to break the ice with a bunch of different people every day, And I definitely have applied. Sorry, guys. I don't know what's with my voice.
You need to stop smoking cigarettes.
It's not like Marge's sisters. I totally agree with you, though, Jess. Like, I think, especially in the line of work that you're doing, I think it speaks to the point of why humor is so contagious and why it's so powerful, is because you're going out there, addressing people that are, that are homeless, that are their situation isn't sometimes in the best. They're living in the streets. They might not have food. They're day to day, but for you to give them that split second of distraction with something funny, it lightens up their day. They kind of, it's like that energy for a split second. My situation isn't really that important, right? And I think within the homeless population there is this level of communication amongst themselves that kind of keep them day to day. It gives them a purpose on their situation. Imagine being by yourself, and that's one of the reasons why I'm assuming that it becomes really difficult for them to really stay in housing, is because a part of their identity comes from being able to socialize and mingle and go and come and go, from whatever the situation is. For us, that we think, oh, their housing situation, how can somebody live in the streets like that? That's something that it's a part of their identity. And so I definitely agree that, you see people every day, and a way that it's kind of like the good morning. And I used to do it when I used to drive buses when I was an undergrad. I used to get people that like had the worst attitude, and I would just say something like good morning, or hey, it's a bit crazy out there, right? And it would totally change the person's perspective. Even if they were having a bad day, they might ignore me, but it wasn't a confrontation, and it might squirm out a little. Oh, good morning. And so definitely, humor is diffusing.
It's a powerful emotion and energy, and you can use it to your advantage. Um, it also, when I used to work with the high school students, I would get kind of like the same, like, oh man, it's so hard, teenagers, right? Or like everybody would always, if I was tired, if I would complain about something when I was working there, everybody always assumed it was, oh yeah, because of teenagers. And I had a really good relationship with the teenagers because I'm like always I'm pretty much normally sarcastic. Like I'm always like finding, I think we all are, finding humor in anything. And so I'm very silly that way. I play around a lot. And the kids, like the teenagers, it was just perfect because it was like a lot of clowning around and like I could take a joke. A lot of the teachers sometimes would be like, oh, could you believe so and so said this? And in my head, I'm like, well, they're a teenager. Like, weren't you like that when you were a teenager, like a smart ass? And like, we're teachers to them. So it's like, we're the ones that they pick on. And, but yeah, like it helped a lot that I was pretty like, you're not going to be able to offend me, bro. So bring it. And so they would just try it. And I'm like, I grew up with 4 boys, 4 uncles. Like, I've heard it, I don't know. So I think the other part of that is having the ability to take a joke. So do you guys think that you're able to take a joke? Even if it's like something, imagine something like crazy that's going to trigger you. Like, would you be able to take that as or like, what's your level of, can you take a joke? Because that also determines life, right? Like life's going to come at you. So how do you handle it?
I think it depends on your age group because I know I had issues sometimes. There's certain buttons that we get pushed that I kind of felt like that wasn't funny. It would get personal, but then you get to a point where it's just like either you're gonna sink or swim. You're gonna either get in there and dish it as you receive it, but you're gonna find your way, that your comfort level. But I think when you're younger in a group, it's like you're trying to find you're kind of just trying to be a carbon copy of everyone else. And so you don't want to be the one that stands out. So you don't want to be the brunt of jokes. So I think it's a little bit more difficult when you're younger because you don't necessarily want to be the coolest one. You want to be popular, but you don't want to be, the punching bag either. So I think I've been able to accept a little bit more with age, where it's just kind of like you brush it off. You're a parent, or we have other things. There's nothing's personal anymore. At least that's the way I take it.
I definitely agree with that age group thing. I didn't even look at it that way, but I guess, I mean, it clearly makes sense though. Like, because to me, it was always, I mean, you guys can vouch, you guys being my siblings. When I was younger, I was clearly the one who would get mad the quickest. I was like a firecracker, obviously, when I was a kid. But I think as I've grown up, I started realizing like it was just easy to get me mad when I was a kid. I was just a little drama, whatever. But now as I've gotten older, I've started to take a little. I've definitely gotten better with being able to take a joke because I've been able to dish it a lot faster now too. So I stopped taking it so personally, and it's definitely helped me out with being able to be in the situation where if my brothers start clowning me, I can get them back too now. Like I'm not afraid anymore of being able to, even with my friends, when they all try to gang up on me, like, oh, I got it, I can roast all you guys by myself too. Like it'll hit me if it hits me, and if not, even if I'm not quick to think of something, I'll just kind of take it and I'll just laugh too, and then wait till somebody, because it's quick to, as long as you don't take it personal. I think the person that starts saying, I learned as a kid later on, as I was growing up, like the more you get mad at it, the more people are going to want to poke at it. And like you said, sink or swim, and it's either I can stand up and say something or nah, because I like to joke too. So let me try to figure out how I can, be cool with knowing these guys aren't really trying to hurt my feelings. Maybe they deliver it a little too rough for me, but it's all right. Like I just got to learn how to, I figured it out and I was able to adapt. And so it definitely, as a kid, you take things a lot more personal because you don't know how to handle your emotions. But then as you grow up and you're able to realize what you're like, who's really trying to hurt you and who's really just trying to fuck around. Like that's what was able to help me out with being able to identify how to control my emotions when it came to getting clowned on.
That's a good point because I feel the same. I can take it when I know we're all joking around, but there's some people who test the boundary of like passive aggressive where they're like low key trying to jab you. then that's when I'm like, okay, I don't want to like do it anymore. I don't want to partake. I don't want to engage anymore. And I'll just remove myself from the situation. Because at that point, it's like, it's not even funny. You're clearly bringing up something that you're bothered by.
Jessica, how do you make the distinction between we were being funny and now it's going to a different place?
Body language from the group, like no one's even laughing anymore at that point. And now it's just like, so I've gotten better to read the room, I would say. Like if we're all participating and all joking around, cool. I think it's fair game. But when there's that one person like picking at someone, and I remember, Prima, I was just telling you recently, like I've encountered someone like that, and I just don't even joke around with them anymore because I've already got their drift, and I don't want to. We don't have the same sense of humor, so I'm not going to keep trying when I already made that observation.
But I think it comes from that, Jess. It comes from, we already have this lingering feeling, like there's this resentment, there's this miscommunication with that family member or friend, and it just boils over into a conversation where people are being funny, and that's what. But see, I think that's when, and I speak on that because I think that's an issue that me and my brothers go through, is that instead of addressing the situation, we make fun of it, and that's when we take it personal. So I think it's a learning process for us because we're still addressing a lot of that, a lot of resentment, a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of what's going on. We tend to be like, well, I don't want to seem like I'm being emotional. I don't want to be the one that's a sore loser. So I'm just gonna clown, and I'm gonna throw in those jabs in between the clowning. So hopefully, you know what I mean, it'll get my point across. So I kind of feel like that's what you're alluding to, is that there's a backstory to this situation, and then you bring it in and you realize, oh, okay, this opportunity for us to just kind of relax, they're throwing those jabs when I'm trying to relax, right? So it gets a little bit more personal.
Yeah. And it's with different people in our environment, my coworkers, friends, or family members. But I think I can take it, but it's reading the room and that person's body language and their energy and their vibes. It's just like, okay, well, I don't want to participate anymore. And I don't say that. I just remove myself from the situation, which I'm, practicing on not being as reactive. Before I would have been like, what's going on? Let's talk about it right now.
And I can, and just to get back to Robert's point real quick, and this is somebody who, like, it actually reminded me of another episode. I forgot what episode it was that I was on with you guys, but I agree with that. Like, yeah, we don't necessarily talk about like the issue at hand or whatever, if anything. And some of us do try to throw the jab in a joke. Whereas me, it's either we talk about it or we don't, but I'm not going to be the one that brings it up type of thing. And that's what I was talking because of, and what I talked about in, I forgot what episode it was that we did, but I remember bringing up the fact that I said, I just don't like to live in the past. Like, if we didn't talk about it, then there should be no reason to bring it up even as a joke. Like, why are we still talking about this? I don't understand. Or why do we have to talk to other people about it? And that's how, so I definitely agree with Robert though. Like, we do, I have been, I'm not a victim. I participated in that. We can't be, we try to either sweep it under the rug, or some of us try to act like we could cope by joking about it, not knowing the other person might still be affected by it, because it's easier to try to go through the humor way to avoid, going through an emotional situation and stuff. So we try to show our emotions through our humor. Obviously, sometimes, whether it's passive aggressive or not, we don't realize we're being passive aggressive, whatever, but we think that's the way of kind of coping with, emotions sometimes. So yeah, I agree with what Robert was saying, like, because I have done that as well. Like, and I have in the past brought up in a joke, like, hey, something that, but I don't do that. I try to hold myself accountable, and I don't do that type of shit no more, because I don't like to. Why do we have to go back to what made us feel bad? Like, either we talk about it between us, or we don't, but let's not bring it up in a jokey way. Like, that shit's not funny. Like, we, it didn't start off funny or something. Let's not try to bring it up anymore. But,
and that's like, and that's like reading the room, like Jessica said, like the shift in energy is so clear. And that's what I do want to keep going back to, the point of how powerful like positive energy is, like if you're being funny about something, and then how powerful negative energy is, and how it's just like an energetic thing. It's not necessary. We make it personal because we're emotional beings, and we're still trying to develop our, whatever the hell we are emotionally and mentally. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that. But yeah, I just think it's cool that we're making the distinction in when there's positive energy and negative energy, and then when we're having like moments where people bring in, like you guys said, like that now it starts to go in a different direct, like the energy shifts. My energy shifts. I'm not reactive, but I've also worked a lot on like standing up for myself, because I did get pushed around a lot when I was younger. Like my mom used to freaking like just, she hit all of us, but I feel I took it very like, I'm scared, And so like I felt like,
This is one of those having technical difficulty. I play a little.
no, this part could just be deleted, and then either will put it back. Okay, so anyway, what was I saying?
You know what to do there.
You're part of the chancla culture, and you used to get scared when your mom would hit you.
You were talking about how you totally bitched out when my mom used to poke you.
Oh yeah. And so and I got bullied, when I was younger. So I have that part of my trauma that I'm still working through. And so right now I'm very like, what the fuck did you just say to me? Like, not like that, but a little bit like that. Like, I don't let no one fuck with me. Like, and again, I need to tone it down, but
yeah,
that's where I'm at. I'm part of that healing process. But yeah, go ahead.
I felt it the last time I went to go visit you. Typically, we're always laughing, and this time, like, we laugh like 10% of my visit, because you're like, "What did you say, Jess? Can you repeat that? What did you mean?"
No, I
And
did not.
I just said a little joke.
For real?
No, I'm just kidding.
No, but did you feel that way? Did I make you feel that way? Because let's talk about it.
You know what, Jess? I guess this is a perfect moment for us to tell you, you're just not that funny. You're just not funny.
Yeah. No, Prima, I was just joking.
No, but if I did make you feel that way, I'm sorry. I'm going through it's just, I've been having to fight people and I don't like it.
You should start watching.
Now I'm like trying to fight everybody and I don't like it. I'm not a fighter. Literally, like I've never had to feel this way. And I put myself in I guess that mentally. And when you came over, was I bumping into you when we were walking next to each other?
In the morning, you would like
saying,
shake the bed for no reason. You're like, "What? It's my room." And I'm like, "It's cool. You're right. It's your room."
Every time she would exit the restroom, you'd be like, "Where you going?" And you would block the doorway, be like, "Yeah, how you gonna get around me? How you gonna get around me?" You would just repeat that. She told me when she came back. That's fucked up. Cindy. Do that shit to me.
Lock Jessica in. She's like, "I'll be back in 3 hours. Don't leave the room." And she'd lock it on the outside. Jessica, when I come back, don't make eye contact.
Oh, that's fucked up. I didn't know I made you feel that way, Jess. I'm so sorry.
No, you didn't.
Like trying to make me feel that way, Cindy. When I go out there, let's see what's up. Let's see if the story's gonna happen the same way.
Then Jessica will be like, "I'm hungry. Open the door. What's the password?"
Wow. I don't know if this is a joke or not. I guess we'll discuss it after the recording. But
and then Cindy would just grab after Cindy would bully Jess, just to act like she was cool. She would grab Jess in a chokehold and be like, "I'm just kidding," and give her a knuckle sandwich. Just playing with you. Jeez, you're so serious. And then just mush her in the face.
You're so sensitive.
It's a jokey joke.
But that's Cindy.
Well, death, huh, guys?
Okay. So my next question is, who are your top 5 comedians? It could be like comedians or shows or whatever, but like top 5.
I got it. Oh, wait, you said comedians and shows or like mixed
either
in?
Or?
Because those two topics those two.
Okay, then do comedians. Comedians.
Okay, comedians. This isn't in any particular order, so don't hate me. But Tom Segura,
too late,
hilarious. Dave Chappelle, obviously. Okay. I like Dave Chappelle. Bill Burr, to me, recently, I've been looking at it. Bill Burr.
Oh, Bill Burr.
His stuff. He's
Bill Burr from The Mandalorian.
Huh?
Bill Burr from The Mandalorian.
Yeah. He was on The Mandalorian.
He's more than The Mandalorian, but that's what I said. He's from The Mandalorian.
That's the only reason I looked him up.
I don't get it.
Who else is on that list? I guess I'm about to throw in Kevin Hart. He is funny. I didn't know he would be on my top 5.
Martin, you don't have to explain yourself to us. It's okay.
No,
we accept you.
That to myself. But And then for my fifth option, because I listen to a lot of podcasters that are comedians, so I'm gonna add Mark Norman on there. He's hilarious to me.
I don't know like any of those people that you
These
just
are the
mentioned.
new. These are I guess except for Chappelle and Bill Burr and Kevin Hart, the only two other ones I could see that you can say are new. I guess because they're in the newer generation, but are Tom Segura. But he's been doing comedy since 2005. He's just
Aziz's pretty funny, but he's
Who?
more intelligent funny.
who?
Aziz Ansari.
Oh yeah, he's good.
He's
Yeah,
all right.
I guess I would put him over. Like
Yeah, he's all right.
he's good.
He's good.
Go ahead.
Okay, who's next? Top 5.
I'm curious to hear Robert's.
No, I'm not gonna say it because then Jessica's gonna come up with her ageism jokes. 1970s comedians, burp.
She's like, you still support Bill Cosby? Do you not know what he's done?
Wow, is that guy still alive? Norbit? Eddie Murphy from Norbit?
Your top 5?
What?
Richard Pryor? You mean bisexual Richard Pryor?
Richard
that's
Pryor
all she
from
knows
the
is the
Vinyl
stuff
Records?
that's
Cantinflas?
for real.
Polo
Okay.
Polo? I can't even say that in Spanish.
All right, I'm going to say mine real quick. You guys keep thinking of yours. This is in this particular order. Dave Chappelle, my number 1 top favorite comedian of all time. Stand-up comedian. Cat Williams, number 2, favorite stand-up comedian of all times. Number 3, Maria Bamford, stand-up comedian of all time. Number 4, Nick Swartzen. And number 5, I had this.
Dang, Cindy. I didn't know we were picking worst comedians, but okay.
Okay. Her comedians are okay. Except for
My comedians are the best.
Sam Williams is not that funny to me. I think
Those
there's only
guys
like
have
one
never
he
been-
stand.
had like 2 good specials, I think.
Yeah.
No, I love Cat Williams, like
oh my
on
God,
a
Black Twitter's
romantic
about
level.
to attack us. We just disrespected Cat Williams.
Huh?
He's all right.
Forget it, Cindy, you're old.
Anyways, yeah, those are my top 5. And I guess Jim Carrey, but he's not a stand-up comedian.
He is. That's how he got famous. He was doing stand-up.
Yeah, but that's not how I found out about him.
You know who I would have thrown on that list, but I guess I can't because he's a pervert. I definitely don't like that. It's he's nasty. But I liked Louis C.K. I thought he was really funny.
Used to be really funny.
He was really funny.
What did he do that canceled him?
He like would masturbate in front of women without their consent sometimes.
And then look at him and like to get their approval.
He would
Wow.
just do it. Like I remember Sarah Marshall came out saying that he asked her and she was cool with it, but there's other ladies that weren't cool with it and he still did it, and it's just like, what the fuck? Like that's pretty fucking weird and gross. Yeah, I get it. But
He would touch himself in front of them?
he would like masturbate and yeah, I guess touch himself, obviously. Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
What was his explanation for that?
He was just comedians are gross.
Dude, okay, it's that whole like male power. Look at what's his name, that
Yeah.
Harvey guy, doing the exact same thing. I mean,
Weinstein?
evidently that was a thing. You're like supposed to be able to please yourself in front of women, and that was a thing. Like, dude, I'm like, there's no way that I would ever do that. Doesn't matter what kind of power I would have. Imagine, because I'm like, my whole thought would have been, a girl's gonna look at me and laugh at me, and I'm like, oh no way, dude, I'm not gonna do that. No, I'm out of here. I'm an ally.
True.
Well, what an idiot, but whatever.
That's kind of weird. Martin, come on, dude. Bro code. That's kind of weird, right?
That is
He
weird.
said it, yeah.
With you. I
You
definitely
said
agree.
that.
I mean, think about it differently, Martin. That is weird, right? Be
It's a
open-minded.
little weird. It's a little weird. I don't know. So the
Be
man's
open-minded.
Come on, dude.
The man's hanging.
I know
brains,
you're
whatever.
freaky, but that's kind of weird.
No, it's pretty gross. But yeah, just talking strictly like stand-up stuff, just not looking at background lives. Like, yeah, I thought Louis C.K. was really funny.
Yeah,
He would have been one of my tops, but I can't support something like that. You know, it's kind of
dude, did you say Dave Chappelle?
Dave Chappelle.
Oh, I know who my 5th one was. George Lopez. Duh.
I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him.
I
I'm
like
not hating
him.
on him, but he's not my favorite.
He's not my
None of my top.
He's on my top 5.
Nah. Delete Cindy's.
But you
Who?
know,
What? We're just sharing our top
I'm
fives.
kidding,
Okay,
kidding.
whose are your
I'm
guys's?
kidding. Talk about being sensitive. I was just kidding.
Take a joke.
Jeez. To
I
me,
don't know. There's a lot of good Oh, you know what? Hannibal Buress was
It's
really funny.
Robert's turn.
Hannibal Buress.
Hannibal
Oh my
Buress
God.
was really funny.
To me, Hannibal Buress, I like intelligent comedians. I like Dave Chappelle, Hannibal Buress, Aziz Ansari. What's that dude that made that movie with his wife?
Okay.
Nanunjahu or something like that. I forget his last name. He's like Indian.
I
He
don't
was
know.
from Silicon Valley.
Oh, Kumail Nanjiani?
Yeah, I thought he's funny.
He's ripped. That dude's
Yeah,
All
he's a
American
good
first team,
superhero.
all body.
That's that. It's the I
My
think
body looks like that.
No, it doesn't, Cindy.
I like comedians that make you think like that. Like I thought Dave Chappelle stuff is really good because he really makes you think with his comedy. It's very like regardless of where you stand on his comedy and his his stance on life, it makes you think and it puts a conversation out there. It's not like you've been hearing about these comedians that are just very raunchy and like he does the raunchy thing just because if you've ever watched the Chappelle show, like I mean that's still a part that was a part of him, coming through the circuit of comedians. But I think his comedies have evolved and I think he includes a lot of like getting you to think, regardless if he pisses you off or not, he gets you to think. And so I kind of like those kind of comedies. So those three for me. Eddie Murphy was one of the first ones that kind of where I was exposed to comedy. So I don't know if I just like him because that was kind of like one of the first comedians that I was ever introduced to. And there's a Spanish comedian. His name's Polo Polo. And if you ever listen to any Spanish comedians, they're like some of the raunchiest. But it was kind of like what we listen to on the radio, like raunchy disc jockeys. But this guy had a whole comedy act. So those are my top five.
Cool.
Jess?
Yes. There's Barney.
I don't think I follow comedians like you guys, so my list is gonna be very like mainstream. I really got into Kevin Hart. Joe Rogan, I saw his stand up and I loved it when he did vegan cats.
Sorry,
I liked it.
He's a better podcaster.
Yeah.
And UFC analyst.
He has what?
He's a better UFC analyst and podcaster.
Oh, yeah. Well, he did a stand up and I thought it was really funny. And I had a third person, but I forgot his name right now.
I really like Joe Coy. Joe Coy's really funny if you guys haven't heard of him.
He's okay.
Joe Coy's funny to me.
Thought he was okay. But yeah, I've seen a bunch of different stand-ups and I can't really say like I follow them or I can't wait for their next special to come out. But those are the ones I've recently seen and I like them.
This is a part of the solutions part I forgot to mention where we're gonna like we're giving people like check these people out. So the next thing that I wanted to ask.
Okay. We're getting paid by the hour, Cindy.
The other thing that I wanted to ask was what shows or YouTube channels or Instagram or whatever or comedies do you guys recommend for people to check out? Like, I don't know if you could find like one quick one and explain what it is, or I don't know.
I do. I got a podcast. If you're not, if you like a comedian, I listen to like they're not afraid to say whatever they feel. So if you're not if you're not into people saying whatever they feel, then maybe don't listen to it. But I listen to Your Mom's House, which is it's a podcast by one of my favorite comedians, Tom Segura, and his wife, Christina P., who is also a comedian, and they're really, really funny. They're very gross. They don't like do gross stuff, but they do. It's just really funny. Like they talk about funny stuff. They improv really well. Like it's just really funny. I can't really explain it.
They're really gross. What kind of a explanation is that?
I'm not trying to give away their product. I'd rather people just go watch it. But I guess what I mean by gross is, and I didn't mean to really use that, but it's just they'll do a segment where they'll show like video, like a clip that they found on Instagram or something, or on TikTok. For some reason, Tom Segura's wife, Christina P., is really into TikTok, and they find like funny clips, and then they'll just post it and talk about it. And it's just like, it could be anything. It could be like someone, I don't know, like getting they literally, it's weird. It's just really funny. I think it's really funny, but it could be hard to watch.
Oh, I just Googled it because her name sounded familiar. She has a podcast called Where My Mom's At. And
Yeah,
she's really
it's really good.
yeah, I listened to her podcast. A friend recommended it, and she's really funny. And I wanted to see her. She was gonna do a stand-up last year right before COVID, or even might have been during, and they canceled it at the Ice House in Pasadena, which is a small venue. And it was
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to see her because she sounded really funny.
Yeah, she's really cool. I like her. And her husband's even funnier, but he's, a little bit more raunchy, but their chemistry is really good. That's a podcast that I recommend for sure.
Oh, I want to see them.
Go ahead, you guys. I have more if nobody has anything else.
Well, solutions part, the last thing I just wanted to say was, remember that making fun of yourself, it goes a long way. It's very powerful. And there's a TED Talk called Making Fun of Yourself Can Change the World. Laughing at yourself can change the world. And I think the funny one out of all of us is me. Okay, go.
Robert, say what you were going to recommend before Cindy cut you off again.
Cindy just keeps
this time she's going to let you talk.
What?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I don't think I heard you. I promise. Because I thought nobody was saying anything. And I'm like, oh, I forgot to mention the TED Talk I was referencing. Okay, bye.
Go ahead, bro. What do you recommend?
So Martin got me into Schitt's Creek, and I'm already into it. I've been watching it. It's so funny. Like, I totally recommend it. Eugene Levy and his son made this show, and it's hilarious. It's kind of slow. It's not like in your face like Modern Family and all these other shows, but it's pretty cool. And I think there's like 6 seasons of it, so
it's on Netflix too.
I was just gonna say I've heard about it.
It's funny.
It is funny.
All right, I'm gonna try it out because Martin, all the things he's recommended, I like. So I'm gonna check it out.
And at the end of the day, like, whatever you listen to, whether it's a podcast, and I'm glad Martin said, like, this is kind of prefaced a little bit about that podcast he was talking about. It's like, we can take every other aspect of our life seriously. Like, give yourself a break. Like, I think Cat Williams said it the best. It's like, you can't be mad at breakfast. You can't be angry at everything. And I think that's the truth. Like, give yourself a little bit of time to breathe. Give yourself a little bit of time to be like, I shouldn't be listening to this, but it's totally allowing me to just like charge my batteries, relax, disconnect from life. You know what I mean? And I mean, it's not going to change who you are. If you're into a movement, if you're really passionate about something, that there's got to be a timeout to all of those things where you can tell yourself, like, I can give myself a break right now. I don't always have to be a militant. I don't always have to be a protester. Like, I can relax and laugh at things and then go back at it. You know what I mean? Because it's hard work. And so, like, with the podcast or whatever we recommend, comedy specials, it's like, funny's funny. Like, there's going to be stuff that is going to cross the line because, there's certain things that push our buttons. But at the end of the day, it's, if it's too much for you, you turn it off. Find something that does connect with you and laugh, because it really is about releasing those endorphins and really being able to relax, because humor is medicine. And, and some people might like, if you can find that your humor is like, man, if people knew what I found funny, like, I don't think anybody would be talking to me, then you're doing the right thing, because you should be allowed to be who you are behind closed doors. And whatever you listen to, if it allows you to disengage, then you're doing the right thing.
Step out of your comfort zone. Listen to
Well said, cuz. Cindy, I appreciate you sending me all those YouTube memes and skits.
I know, I gotta start sending stuff.
Yeah. So I think, Cindy,
Thanks, you're welcome.
Those really highlight my day, even though sometimes you send them several times. I appreciate them.
I think going forward,
I did that once.
You should have like a dad joke of the day for each session going forward. That's my executive decision for your podcast.
Yeah, you should write it and send it to us.
I could just tell you all of them right now.
Okay.
Send it in a PDF format.
Oh, wait. Let me pull
amazing.
Oh, you want to hear them? Let me pull them all up.
And sign it.
Thanks, guys. This was an amazing topic. I
You guys
hope
were
people
awesome.
were laughing. We were a little harsh in the beginning, but we found our groove, and
For
hopefully
sure.
someone
Thank
finds
you for
enlightenment.
joining us, Jessica. This was awesome. Thank you for being a part of this. We always love it when you come on with us. Martin and me are, we're always looking for cutting edge participants, people to join us, invitees, and you did that. You brought it today, so thank you very much, everyone. This session of Las Primas podcast was brought to you by Coors Light. Just kidding.
Damn.
Coors Light.
Is gonna sponsor someone? Free sponsor?
It's
Fosters
from,
for
they're based in Denver, Cindy. So shout out to your
Yeah.
hometown.
Yeah, I wrote them an email and they haven't gone back to me, so I don't know what.
Well, they got back to
Okay.
Robert. Clearly, he's our manager. So
I know. So who do you guys think is the funniest out of all of us? I think it's me, if I'm
I vote
honest.
you two. I vote you two. So far you have 2 votes, Cindy.
Okay, so I think that does it.
Oh, you can vote for yourself?
It's
That's
our
how it
rules,
works?
prison rules, Martin. It's our podcast.
Okay. Well, I don't
Martin,
wanna
you
do
think
this.
you're funnier than me?
I don't know. I don't really compare myself, but I don't know. Because I think you and I think I'm quick with it. Like I said, I think I can pick it up really quick, but I don't know. I don't think I'm the funniest person. No, maybe not.
Okay.
think
Robert,
there's-
you think you're funnier than me?
I know I'm funnier than you. I think with you, Cindy, it has to be, a lot of things have to be in place for you to be funny.
No, that's for
Well,
you.
It's true.
No,
I don't think that. I think Robert's really funny. As I said in the previous episode, I think Robert is really funny when there's someone there that he can impress. I think
Yeah, Robert, because when I see you, you make me laugh like 1 out of the 10 times I see you.
Robert's either super serious or if it's someone that he can impress, he's the funniest guy alive.
or he's just he has to be in the mood.
Yeah. And
Let me shoot you all down. One, Jess, the only reason I'm only funny 1 out of 10 is I'm trying to run away from you. Second,
you don't got it. You don't got it. You're lying.
you're right. I'm not trying to impress anybody on this podcast. That's why today I wasn't at my funniest.
Okay, so you didn't shoot me down. You just proved my point.
So I guess Martin's right.
Thank you. Anyways,
Okay, I'm the funniest. Yay!
and then Eloy,
You win.
I think Eloy's really funny. Like he can pick it up at the moment. He can say something that'll just catch you off guard sometimes. Really funny. Abraham, you need to be one-on-one with him to really make you laugh. I don't think Abraham's a control the room type of guy. And I think Cindy in person, no, Cindy, like I said, I don't know. I think Cindy's quick with this sometimes, but I have my moments where I can catch you guys too. So I don't know. I don't want to compare myself, but I think I could catch everybody pretty well myself.
Yeah, no, I think I'm the funniest. So that's cool. Thank you guys. This has been beautiful. I'm so glad that I had my brothers on because if you guys, me and you were in the ring and the competition was about humor, yeah, I definitely
Knock you guys
it
out.
out of the park.
This is a gross color on you.
Yeah. It's okay, you guys. It doesn't, you know what? That would sound weird if I was on the other end of that. So I get it. And I love you guys.
Wrap it up.
Unconditionally.
This is your
Wrap
show.
it up.
We'll let you win.
I'm making it a point to not laugh or smile. I'm not even gonna end this one funny. Just to let you know how you're going, Cindy.
Guys, you're a part of our last 3 episodes.
Tight.
Any words?
Well, we're not at the end yet. Job's
Oh,
not
okay.
finished.
That's true.
Job's not finished.
Just
The
the
late
beginning.
Kobe said that.
Boy, Robert?
Just the beginning.
It is just the beginning. All right.
Keep it going.
Blood gang.
Power to
Bye,
the people.
guys.
Bye.
Free Palestine.
Bye.
Bye.